Yo, my name's Kenzie, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the intro, so we're just getting started. Yeah, this channel's been a minute in the making. I This whole idea of creating more than you consume has kind of been on my mind for a while as somebody who consumes a lot. TikTok, scrolling, um, Instagram Reels, just scrolling, following a lot of people, and just being so invested in their life. It's almost like it's sad because I'm so blessed, and to just continuously remind myself of the things I don't have, or to continuously be envious of another person's situation, or to even be envious of their ambition, right? Like, I think it's totally okay to like look up to people and have role models, but when I'm just attached to the feeling that they give me because they chase their dreams, as opposed to like empowered to get up and go do something about it, I think that's where the problem lies. So like this whole idea of creating more than you consume is one that I'm really trying to like act on and do something about. And that starts by creating. So that's where you guys come in. That's where the YouTube channel comes in. So I wrote down notes. This is my introduction video. So there's two questions, right? Who am I, and what is this channel about? And I even think that question, like who am I, is an interesting one, because in the States, we are very attached to superficial things, right? So like, where did you go to school? Where did you grow up? Like your community tells a lot about you. How much money you have. What do you do for work? How much money you have. It kind of just like, it all goes back to like your monetary status. That this question of like, who are you? Like your place in society is strictly determined by your the monetary value, or I'm able to judge like who you are based on how much money you have. In order to figure out how much money you have, it's like, where did you go to school and what job you have? So when I was thinking about like, how do I want to identify myself for this channel? And even let's go back to that. Like, let's zoom out a little bit. I'm a Christian, right? And in Matthew 7, God talks about how you'll be able to tell like the false prophets by their fruit. Okay, so Jesus was basically saying in that text that you'll be able to know like the you'll be able to know everything you want to know about a person by their fruits, by the results of their actions. So I don't really want to start by defining myself by like what I do and where I go to school. Like I want this video to really just talk about like what inspires me, right? Hold on, my camera's tweaking. Are we locked, guys? Okay. Yeah, okay. So what inspires me? What makes me excited? I wrote it down. I'm a Christian first, I'm a creative second, and I'm an athlete third. I mentioned it earlier, I'm a Christian, right? So my faith obviously is, or not even obviously, but for me personally, my faith is the most important thing in my life. Um, I'll definitely be talking about that more on the channel. I I don't know where I would be without the Lord, and I'm eternally grateful for all He's done for me. So that's number one for me. Number two, I'm a creative, and I think that that term is kind of like tainted in a way. Like when you say, "Oh, I'm a creative," it's like a weed smoking hippie who's like barefoot and like, but that's not me, right? I'm very structured. Um, I'm very like, I don't know. I like things in order. Not to say that like weed smoking hippies don't like things in order, but I think that the connotation of like, oh, he's a creative, he's just kind of like floating through the world, he has no idea what he's doing. That's not me, right? So I created two businesses. I'm a business owner. I started a media company last November, November of 2024, It's called Echo, and the whole idea is to amplify the vision of the visionary. So partnering with small businesses or just different creatives and bringing their ideas to life by connecting them with the items or the people or the things that they need. I mean, I could connect them with videographers, photographers. I could personally just offer some advice in terms of creative branding and creative direction. I've really enjoyed that. I love the aspect of connecting ideas and connecting people with people. I think that's so cool. It's something I'm really, really passionate about. And Echo has been a really cool vehicle. It's cool to see how it's kind of morphed into my second company, which is 40-Fold Enterprises. That's a holding company that I created. Okay, so let's nerd out for a second. In the United States, there's massive wealth transfer happening. There's a lot of baby boomers retiring, and they're transferring a lot of money in businesses, specifically service-based businesses. So 40-Fold Enterprises is designed to buy, hold, and improve on those service-based businesses in hopes of exiting one day. The whole idea of 40-Fold, it's a really cool. It's one of my favorite things ever. So 40 ties back to 40 acres and a mule. Back in the late 18th century, here in the United States, the slaves were recently freed, and African Americans were recently freed as a result of the Civil War had ended, Emancipation Proclamation, all that good stuff. And I think it was 1896 was the year the United States have basically said that they were going to give every free African American 40 acres and a mule in hopes of leveling the playing field. Now, this promise was never fulfilled. We never got our 40 acres and a mule. Shocker. And the fold part, so that's the 40 part. The fold part of 40-Fold is biblical. I mean, a lot of things that I do, everything should, but I try and be as intentional as I can in tying things back to my faith. And in the Bible, hold on. Wow. So in the Bible, God constantly refers I'm going to bless you 10-fold, 20-fold, 30-fold. And I just love the idea of multiplying the blessings that he's given us, right? And I think that 40-Fold is really cool because the tagline is multiplying the promises given. So it's a little bit of both, right? The promises given was the 40 acres that, camera. As multiplying the promises given is really cool because it's tying both of those together. So the 40 obviously refers to the 40 acres and the mule, and the fold is just the promises and the blessings that God said he's going to be giving us. So that's 40-Fold. And I kind of already talked about, the mission of the company. It's service-based focused right now, just because that's what I have access to, and that's what I can do as a 22-year-old without millions and millions of dollars. But hopefully one day in the next 5 to 10 years, after a couple exits, we'll be able to transfer into more tech spaces. I'd really like to get into biotech. I think that's a really fascinating field. I'm also very much into health and fitness. So I'd love to get into that space as well. And I think at that point, we would kind of have to go through a rebrand because it's not really a holding company. I don't know if it's venture capital, but that's just going to come with time and reps and figuring out what exactly we are or the company is. So I'm a Christian, I'm a creative, and I'm an athlete. I've been an athlete my whole life. I've been an athlete my whole life. I think, I don't even think, I know that without the constant breaking down refinement of my body, I wouldn't be the man I am today. I did every sport growing up: football, basketball, soccer, skateboarded. I did chess for a year. Chess is a sport, by the way. So I did it all. I ended up sticking with baseball, and I played in college for a couple years. I don't play anymore. I have an interesting relationship with the game. I love what it gave me, but it sucks to be done at the same time. It's recent. I just stopped playing like 6 months ago. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to unpack there emotionally, and maybe I'll like talk about that here on the channel. But now that I'm done, it's kind of freed me up to kind of do whatever I want. I lift every day, right? Like basically every day. I would say like 6 days a week. I'm in the gym early morning. I'm a morning person. I'm in there at 5:30, just getting after it. But it's just lifting. I've dabbled in running. I go through like phases. I ran like 12 miles was my longest run, and I was like, all right, I'm never running again. That was like 2 weeks ago. I'll definitely run again, but like that 12 miles sucked, and I don't like running at all. I really want to buy a bike and do like cycling. I feel like that'd be dope. I want to really incorporate like sprinting more and agility work because I used to be really good at that. That was like my thing. I was fast. I am fast, but I don't run anymore, right? So I want to start like running fast again, sprinting, doing agility work, box jumps, stuff like that. Because right now it's very like static, just lifts, which is good for overall health. But I want to be an athlete for the rest of my life, and that requires me doing athletic things. So that'll definitely be something I document. I'm also big into food, huge into food. I love to cook. I love eating good food, and I think the impact of bad food is like tremendous. It's completely undervalued, and it's something that I will be talking about and that needs to be talked about more. Because if you think about it, right, like your body is it's your machine, it's your vehicle that God has given us to go out and use in this world. And we constantly, and I'm not talking from like a high horse because I do it too, but we constantly fill our body with like really, really, really bad food. Like food that has no business being ingested by human beings. And it's partly because of a lack of knowledge and partly because of a lack of resources if you're in certain areas. And those are two things. Like the older I get, I want to, obviously get back. And those are two things. Like food is so important to me because I know what it's done for my life the second I changed my diet, and just the ability to learn what works for your body because everybody's different is it's a flexibility and a resource and a luxury that we take for granted far too easily. So, and that's the part of being an athlete, right? Because this, as a result of the food I eat, it affects my performance. If I'm eating crappy food, I'm not going to have a great day. And so I'm going to be lethargic, slow, headaches, all that stuff. If I eat really good food, if I fuel my body the way it should be fueled, the difference that it makes is like, it's unbelievable. So I really want to talk a lot about that. There's going to be like, but yeah, that's what really defines me, I would say, right? I'm a Christian, I'm a creative, and I'm an athlete. So on this channel, like what's going to happen? What's going to be going down? Kenzie's life is kind of dope. Everybody's life is kind of dope. It's really just going to be sharing my life. It's my channel, so I can post whatever I want to post. I'm not going to box it in and say like, oh, it's a health and fitness channel, or oh, it's a business channel, or it's literally just going to be like whatever I want it to be. There'll be some vlog stuff because why not? I hope you guys enjoy. I'm looking forward to it. Create more than you consume. Go pick up a book. Bye.